$5 million buys you a lot of things. A mansion in most cities, a fleet of supercars, or this, the Piper M700 Fury. But is it worth it? Today we're going inside what might be the most controversial luxury turboprop on the market, and I'll show you why some call it the Ferrari of the skies, while others say it's just overpriced marketing hype. What you're looking at isn't just another pretty face in the world of personal aviation. The M700 Fury represents Piper's bold step into territory previously dominated by jets costing twice as much. And that's exactly why I had to get my hands on one. Before we climb aboard, let me set the scene. Piper Aircraft has been manufacturing planes since 1937, but they've never produced anything quite like this. The M700 Fury hit the market last year, and it's already become the status symbol for a new breed of executives and entrepreneurs who want to make a statement without the operational costs of a true jet. Let's find out if the reality matches the hype. Cabin. The moment you step into the Fury, you understand where a significant portion of that $5 million price tag went. This cabin represents the most radical departure from Piper's traditional aesthetic. The cabin dimensions immediately set this aircraft apart from competitors. We're looking at a cabin that measures 17 feet in length, 5.2 feet in width, and 4.9 feet in height. While that might not sound massive compared to larger jets, it's remarkably spacious for an aircraft in this class. The standard configuration accommodates 6 passengers in what Piper calls their executive layout. Each seat is wrapped in hand-stitched Italian leather with diamond stitching that wouldn't look out of place in a Bentley. The color palette I'm showing you today is their Midnight Sapphire option, but buyers can customize virtually every surface. These aren't just pretty seats. They're engineered with memory foam cores and 4-way adjustable positioning. Each seat features a dedicated USB-C charging port, individual reading lights, and small fold-out tables perfect for a laptop or meal service. At the rear of the cabin, we find what Piper calls the Convenience Center, marketing speak for the compact lavatory and refreshment station. It's not a full stand-up bathroom like you'd find in larger jets, but the emergency relief facility is nicely appointed and privately enclosed, which is a genuine luxury for flights under 3 hours. The refreshment center houses a small cooler that can hold up to 12 beverages, and there's a dedicated storage compartment for snacks and catering items. Piper claims this setup can handle catering for 6 passengers on a 3-hour flight. The M700 features 8 oval windows, each measuring 11 by 16 inches. That's 30% larger than previous Piper models, allowing significantly more natural light to flood the cabin. Each window has an electrochromic dimming system controlled via the central touchscreen or passenger app. One of the most impressive aspects of the Fury's cabin is what you don't hear. Piper invested heavily in acoustic engineering, resulting in a cabin noise level of just 68 decibels at cruise. That's quieter than most luxury SUVs at highway speeds and allows for comfortable conversation without raising your voice. Cockpit. Now, let's move to where the magic happens, the flight deck of the M700 Fury. Piper has completely reimagined what a turboprop cockpit should be with the Fury. This isn't just an updated version of previous Piper panels. It's a clean sheet design centered around the Garmin G3000 avionics suite with 3 14-inch high-resolution displays. The primary flight display directly in front of the pilot presents all critical flight information with extraordinary clarity. The multifunction displays can be configured to show navigation charts, engine parameters, system status, weather radar, terrain awareness, traffic information, and much more. What makes the G3000 system special are these dual touchscreen controllers in the center console. They provide intuitive menu-based control of virtually every aircraft system and eliminate dozens of individual switches and knobs found in older aircraft. One of my favorite features is the synthetic vision system, which creates this 3-dimensional view of terrain, obstacles, and runway environments, even in conditions of zero visibility. Combined with the standard heads-up display, it's like having X-ray vision through clouds and darkness. The autopilot capabilities border on science fiction. The M700 can literally fly itself, from shortly after takeoff to just before landing with minimal pilot input. It maintains precise altitude and course control while optimizing engine performance for maximum efficiency. Safety systems include traffic collision avoidance, enhanced ground proximity warning, weather radar with turbulence detection, and even an emergency descent mode that automatically responds if cabin pressure is lost at altitude. Engine and performance. Now, let's talk about what makes the M700 Fury truly special: its performance capabilities. The heart of the Fury is the Pratt & Whitney PT6A66D turboprop engine, generating 1,250 shaft horsepower. This power plant has been meticulously modified with Piper's proprietary Impulse digital engine control system that optimizes fuel flow for every phase of flight. That power drives this 5-blade composite propeller with active vibration control and electric de-icing. The blade design represents years of aerodynamic refinement to maximize thrust while minimizing noise both inside and outside the aircraft. The performance numbers are impressive by any standard. The M700 Fury cruises at 320 miles per hour at 28,000 feet, which approaches light jet territory. The maximum range is 1,600 nautical miles with reserves, meaning you can fly from New York to Miami, Los Angeles to Denver, or Chicago to Mexico City without stopping for fuel. Takeoff performance is where the Fury really shines. At maximum takeoff weight, it needs just 2,200 feet of runway. That opens up thousands of smaller airports that would be inaccessible to jets of similar passenger capacity. Fuel efficiency was clearly a design priority. At typical cruise power settings, the M700 burns approximately 55 gallons per hour. Compared to light jets with similar speed and capacity, that's a fuel saving of about 30 to 40%. The flight characteristics make the M700 a genuine pleasure to fly. Control inputs provide immediate, precise responses without being twitchy. The advanced flight control system includes subtle electronic stability augmentation that prevents pilot-induced oscillations while maintaining authentic feedback. Costs. Finally, let's talk about what it costs to put one of these in your hangar and whether the investment makes sense. The base price for a Piper M700 Fury starts at $4,800,000. However, most buyers opt for customizations and upgrades that typically push the final price to between $5,200,000 and $5,500,000. For perspective, entry-level light jets like the Embraer Phenom 100 or Cessna Citation M2 start around $5 million to $5.5 million, but offer slightly higher cruise speeds at the expense of significantly higher operating costs. Speaking of operating costs, the direct operating costs for the M700 Fury run approximately $1,200 per hour when you factor in fuel, maintenance reserves, and engine programs. That's about 30% less than comparable light jets. Fixed costs like insurance, hangar space, and annual training run approximately $180,000 annually, assuming the aircraft is professionally managed. For owners looking to offset costs through charter when they're not using the aircraft, the M700 Fury typically commands charter rates between $2,500 and $3,200 per hour, depending on the market. With its relatively low operating costs, this can make it an attractive option for partial ownership or charter management programs.